Salesforce celebrates its 20th anniversary this year, and at its annual developer conference, TrailheaDX, I had a chance to speak with Parker Harris about everything from the recent Pardot outage and his decision to take down all of Salesforce's services to how he manages to bring together all of Salesforce's different products into its existing platforms. And that's where I started. I wanted to know how he brings together the core Salesforce and Lightning platform, the Commerce Cloud, the Marketing Cloud, and now MuleSoft and AnyPoint together into Salesforce's existing legacy stack, and what his strategy was for successfully integrating so many different platforms, both for Salesforce internally and for his customers.
Probably about 3-4 years ago, I did make the switch to change my title to CTO. I used to just be co-founder. I thought, well, maybe I should, first of all, let people know what I do. But I also moved pretty much all of my engineering to one of the best leaders in the world of technology, Srini Tallapragada. And I said, Srini, you need to run all of the engineering, all the infrastructure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work across all of our engineering teams to work on exactly what you're talking about, which is integration. Integration's hard. And so the key to that was architecture. We're not going to go rewrite a lot of the technology that we have. And most CTOs in the world can't afford to do that either, right? So we have our Sales Cloud, our Service Cloud, our Lightning platform. Those are awesome. And we have our Marketing Cloud. So take that as an example. We're integrating at an identity level for login and authentication. So a CXO is going to have to do that. We're integrating at a UI level so that it feels like the same service. And many of our customers do that with Lightning, bringing together the UI. And then at the data level. And the data is probably the hardest, but that's where something like MuleSoft comes in. It makes it so easy to sync the data together because you create APIs over all of your properties.
Now, speaking of integration, I was also interested to find out how they were going with Customer 360. Salesforce announced Customer 360 at Dreamforce last year with a general release date in the second half of 2019. I asked Parker how the rollout was going and if they were still on track for that date.
Yeah, we're absolutely on track, and you know, that's probably at the heart when you asked about integration and bringing things together. For us, we're a CRM company, we're a customer company, so figuring out how to help our customers translate all of our technology into how their customers are working with them. And so the Customer 360 is about, well, how do I know it's the same customer across all of my different areas where I'm touching the customer, from sales to service, marketing, commerce. And then once I know that it's the same customer, how do I actually know what I've done so that I can actually understand that relationship in a full 360? So, you know, years ago, the CXOs of the world, you know, will probably cringe when I use this word, master data management, right? Whenever you say that, you're like, oh, that really failed, that was horrible. But the Customer 360, you can think about that as customer mastering. It's about making sure you understand your customer uniquely across all your systems, and yet don't rewrite everything, don't bring all the data into one thing. The world is more and more federated, it's more and more connected. Leverage APIs to connect it together and leverage Customer 360 to understand your customer better.
Now, in today's world of digital transformation, it's more important than ever for companies to change how they interact with customers. And I wanted to get Parker's insights on how Salesforce is doing this.
The customer is always right. The customer, like when you say customer centricity, it's not about the company, it's about the customer. And so we all have to go where the customer is. And more of the customer is mobile, more and more of the customer is social, more and more of the customer has expectations of AI. Like they expect apps to be magic now, right? That's why we have Einstein. Like I want the app to know me, I want it to tell me what I want before I ask. And so these are hard problems to solve, and we want to go to where the customer is.
As the size and scope of Salesforce deployments grow, I was curious to find out how the company is helping customers manage large-scale enterprise development, deployments, and potential rollbacks. So I asked Parker specifically about DevOps.
You know, I meet with a lot of customers, and one thing I like to do is, especially our largest customers, they have complex architectures like you're talking about. They have Salesforce, they have SAP, Oracle, Workday. They have all, they have workloads on AWS, workloads on Azure. And I like to say, let's look at your architecture. From a customer-centric perspective, I don't want to talk about the Salesforce architecture to customer. What's the customer's architecture and how does Salesforce fit in? And then within that, how do we make sure the development process of Salesforce, whether you're developing UI or integrations or workflows or business process, how do you make sure there's a consistent way to actually write that code, to store it in modern ways, like on Git, for example, whether it's UI or logic, store it in code, version it, right? Upgrade and downgrade if you need to, or roll back. And so when you think about the Lightning platform, you think about the Heroku platform, as an example, we're bringing those together. We want the development experience to be consistent. So if you go from no code to low code to high code, it's the same experience, it's the same feel. But we're always looking for input, so we always want to know from all the geeks out there, what more can we do? And also look at our partners. The whole partner community is also jumping in. We have incredible partners here at the Expo that are doing incredible work around DevOps, adding to everything that we provide as a company.
When you're dealing with so many different systems, things don't always go right. And in the recent Pardot outage, Salesforce decided to take down all services as a precaution until they knew what was going on. Now, I asked Parker to walk us through this decision and to give advice to other technology leaders who may need to make that kind of decision within their organizations.
To all the CXOs out there, my advice is you need to be ready for a crisis, because a crisis will happen to you. And how will you guide yourself through that crisis? You need to guide yourself by your values. And you've seen us talk about our values over and over again. Trust is the highest value, and within trust, security is most important. And I did make that decision along with our Chief Trust Officer, Jim Alcove. We said, we have a big issue. It's going to take us a little time to fix it. So we made a very hard call and we pulled the plug on the network because we wanted to protect all of our customers' information. I've been on numerous calls with our customers explaining the issue and apologizing, telling them how it will never happen again. But over and over again, our customers have thanked us for staying true to our values and be very clear in the heat of the moment that security is more important than anything. And the trusted safety of their data is job one.
Lastly, I wanted to find out how much transparency was part of that process and part of building trust with their customers.
And again, that's where you have to stay true to your values. Even if you think, oh, maybe it's going to be okay, guide yourself by your values, not by some gut instinct. And our values, again, were about security. And then about transparency, transparency is so important. We were the first enterprise company to put up our availability and our security on a public website called trust.salesforce.com. And we put all of our information out there. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we don't know everything about an issue. And so we're doing our best to get the information out to our customers. And our customers get frustrated sometimes. They say, I want more information, I want it faster. But it's that dialogue that's important. It's important to get as much information as you can out, to be as transparent as possible, and to have as many direct conversations with your customers because they need you. They're relying on you, and in the cloud especially, they're saying, I'm relying on you to run my service, to secure it, to make it available, to make it fast. And so you need to have that trusted relationship. So again, trust is number one, security, availability, but also transparency.